Hi friends, today we're going to make a viral recipe called street corn white chicken chili, and it looks like it's going to be super simple. Come on and join me and see how it goes. Hi friends, my name is Kim. Welcome to Cottage Kim Cooks. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so happy to have you with me today. Today we're going to make a recipe that has gone viral. I've seen it all over Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and it's called street corn white chicken chili. I'm going to make a few modifications to make this something that my family would like, and you are welcome to make any modifications that you might want so that it's a recipe that is suitable for your family. We're going to start by heating up some oil in a Dutch oven, and we're going to cut up some onion so that we can saute that in the oil. We're going to add our onion to our Dutch oven. Oops, I got a big chunk there that didn't get cut up. We want to cook this until the onion is softened, about 4 to 5 minutes. And you can use a rotisserie chicken for this if you would like. I actually just took 2 chicken breasts and cooked those in my Instant Pot, then used my ground beef masher and chopped up the chicken breast. And that's how we're going to add it for mine. And we can go ahead and add a teaspoon of garlic, which is probably about 1 to 2 cloves. I'm adding my beloved minced garlic paste. Stir that around. You can add oregano, and it calls for 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. I'm not a fan of oregano, so I'm not adding that. And you can add cumin, also not a fan of that, and that's half a teaspoon if you want to add cumin. But I will add 1 teaspoon of chili powder. You want to cook this for 1 minute. And it calls for 4 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to add part chicken broth and part vegetable broth because that's what I have handy. And we're going to bring that mixture to a gentle simmer. Now this next step, it does call for charring your corn to give it that street corn taste or flavor, and I am not going to do that. I already steamed my corn in the microwave, and it calls for you to char it frozen in a little bit of oil. And we're going to create a cornstarch slurry. We're going to do that with 1/4 of a cup of cold water and 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch. And our broth is starting to simmer, so we're going to go ahead and add our corn. And remember, if you want to char this, that takes about 5 minutes. Do it in oil from frozen. We're going to add our chicken breast, and there's a little bit of broth in here because if you know, when you cook your chicken in the Instant Pot, it creates its own broth, which is lovely. We're going to add 2 cups of, I'm making a mess, 2 cups of navy beans or Great Northern beans. It actually calls for 1 cup, but the beans are one of the favorite parts for my family, so I'm going to include 2 cans of those. Looks like I could use some more broth. So I'm going to finish off this vegetable broth, and I'm going to add a little bit more of the chili powder. So it says once the broth is simmering, stir in the beans, shredded chicken, and charred corn. Meanwhile, in a small bowl, whisk together the cornstarch and cold water, which we've done, until smooth. And we want to stir that cornstarch mixture into the chili and then let it simmer for 8 to 10 minutes or until thickened. Okay, now we're going to add 1.5 cups of sour cream. I think it's going to give it a little bit of a tanginess to the broth. And we're going to add 1/2 cup of shredded Monterey Jack cheese. And we're going to add, it calls for 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lime juice. I don't have that, so I'm going to add some bottled lime juice. We're going to let that cheese melt. It says to season to taste with salt and pepper, so I am going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper. And I'm going to put some in a bowl and give this a taste. So this is what it looks like. You can pour a little bit of cilantro on top, or put a little bit of cilantro on top. Let's give it a taste. That's very good. It could use a little bit of thickener, a little more thickener than what I did. I don't think I used 1/4 cup and 1/4 cup. So it could use a little bit more thickener. But other than that, I think it has a wonderful taste. I probably would add just a hint of jalapeno to it, not with the seeds. I have some jalapeno that I was going to add, but I decided not to at the last minute. And I think that it would be good with a little bit of jalapeno, just a tiny bit. If you like heat, add as much as you want, but I think it would be good with just a tiny bit of jalapeno. And so this comes to 6 servings. So that's a good size bowl full is 1 serving. It has 478 calories, 24 grams of fat, 32 grams of carbs, but 4 grams of fiber. So you're looking at 28 net grams of carbs and 30 grams of protein. So not bad at all. And it does taste really good. Is it as good as the viral, I don't know what you call that, the viral, it going as viral as it has? I don't know if it's that good. I think my regular chicken chili is pretty darn good. So, but I think that the creaminess of the sour cream adds something to it, something distinct to it. And I would probably top it with a little bit of the cotija cheese along with that cilantro. So if you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, Cottage Kim Cooks. I try to post videos twice a week. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And I really enjoyed our time together today, friends, and I look forward to cooking with you again soon. Take care.